Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Circle City Conversations. Thank you to our sponsor, Hearst Limontes, an Indiana law firm with many years of experience helping injured Hoosiers. Today, we are back for a very special episode here at Tinker House Events.
That's right.
Yes, I just talked to my dear friend Nabila, and now I have the pleasure of speaking with her husband, Brian Willsey.
That's right. Thanks for having me, Alex.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. We heard a little bit in the earlier episode.
We did.
About some of your ventures, but I want to talk a lot more about it, okay? And some of the things that you in particular are doing.
Sure.
So, but before we get into that, let's learn a little bit more about you. We know a lot about your beautiful wife.
We do.
But let's learn a little bit more about you. Where are you from?
Yeah, my story is not as extensive or cool as my lovely wife, Nabila's story. I am a Hoosier born and raised. I hail from the south side of Indianapolis, generations deep down there on the south side.
Where'd you go to high school?
I'm a Perry Township.
Perry Meridian?
Perry Meridian, go Falcons.
What year?
02.
I didn't play baseball, but he played baseball at Hanover. A guy named Sean Buffy.
I know Sean very well.
Yeah.
Yes, the whole Buffy family.
You do?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mom and Sean's mother, Joellen, are the best of friends and have been for our entire time with kids in the South Side. So yeah, I just spoke with Joellen probably less than 6 months ago. Big fan of the family.
Yeah, one of the lawyers in my office, Katie Karras, she went to Perry Meridian.
I don't know if I know that name.
I think she was 98 maybe.
Okay.
I can't remember, but I was telling
8th grader, 98.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Better than I am.
that's all right. Let's go Falcons nonetheless.
So Falcons.
All right.
So you went to Perry Meridian, graduated, then went to IU?
As one would on the south side, yes, IU kid. I actually turned down direct admit to the engineering school at Purdue. My mom was a Purdue grad. My dad is IU grad, so split house.
Yeah.
Thought IU was a prettier campus, for lack of the explaining, and decided to follow some of my friends down there instead of going to
That's so funny.
educational school.
And
Nothing against IU. Had a grand time. Got a great education.
hey, I use it.
Met my wife. Now wife. So hey, didn't miss out on anything.
So IU is an amazing
school,
especially for what you wanted to do.
I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I also come from a long line of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I always thought that I would eventually end up in some sort of sales, business, whatever. But man, I had no idea what it lied in store for me. So I just went down there ready to kind of soak it all up and figure out how to be a human.
And you got your MBA, right?
I did, but that was many years later, past IU. Yes.
So you mentioned you had you have a family of entrepreneurs, but you also we're in an event space right now, service industry. I was reading some of your bio. You started in the service industry.
Kind of cut my teeth there. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And I love to see when people worked in the service industry. I was a bartender at Don Pablo's on the north side.
Nice. Don Pablo's. All right.
Yeah, I was a bartender down in Florida. I worked in the service industry for like 15 years, and I was talking to a lawyer about it yesterday. And I know you're not a lawyer, but there's so much overlap between a lot of industries where if you have that base working in there in the service industry, customer service, having to deal with people on a regular basis.
The highs and the lows, Alex.
Yeah, it carries over, doesn't it?
It does. It translates so well. I almost to the fact that I'm like, well, if you're either going into the military, you're going to a trade, or you're going into the hospitality industry to cut some of your teeth until you figure out what you want to do. So it is one of those things that I think just set me up for a lot of success later in life.
Yeah,
lots of skills.
And Purdue has a hospitality program, didn't they?
I think they do. I honestly didn't do anything hospitality, career related, school related. It's just kind of how I grew up. My lots of sales based entrepreneurs, as I said earlier, in the insurance fields throughout my past generations, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, cousins, uncles, all that jazz.
You have lawyers in your family, yeah?
Yes. So yes. But that is the other side of the, it was insurance or it was the legal field, from the Willsey side of the lineage. So yes, absolutely. Multiple lawyers in the family. On the South side still, yes, I'm still practicing.
So you go to IU, you meet your lovely wife.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
we do.
And then what happens after that?
It was a nice journey as I left school. I was a couple years ahead of her, trying to find and forge my path. It was right at that 07, 08 time frame. So yeah, cool time to come out of school with average grades, to say the least. So I went into a sales role, Alex. I went into a sales role with a local entrepreneur on the north side of town, was selling golf equipment and golf memberships. It was, disposable income was the first thing to go. So that job didn't last long. It was a great experience. It was great. It was a great time. Got some free golf stuff. But I went into, I decided that it was time to kind of keep moving. Went into and got into like the banking world. For some reason, I like to count money. I still haven't made a lot of it yet, but I like to be around it, learn from it. So as she was finishing school, as Nabila was finishing school, I got into that world and took a couple years before I decided it was time for me to go back to get my MBA, which is about a year before she decided to go back and get her professional degree. So we were in school together. Yeah, give or take. Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to get your MBA?
I went to the University of Indianapolis. Go Hounds.
Yeah, Greyhounds.
Go Hounds, baby.
Yeah, that's where Katie Cares, the lawyer.
There you go. All right.
For undergrad.
All right. It was a completely different experience from the big school of IU. Very small, personal. 15 people in the class. Knew all my professors.
Okay.
Actually did a much better job on my grades because I was paying for it. Mm-hmm. So a great experience all the way around.
That's funny. Yeah, I had a buddy who got his MBA from U of I, but that was many years ago. He sells insurance down in Hopkinsville, Kentucky now. So, all right. So, you get your MBA. Was there a certain time where Nabila came to you, or maybe some of her partners, came to you and talked to you about Hotel Tango, and like, how did that kind of develop? Tell me a little.
Yeah, I would say that actually, I had gone through the MBA program, and as any good MBA program will do, is kind of set you up for that good career style job, kind of starting at the bottom of the ladder in the corporate world. And to be honest with you, that's a good starting point for a lot of MBA grads. I was happy to kind of finally get to a point where I felt like, I had earned a spot in my starting phases of my career to climb the old ladder. I was with a real estate firm here in town, City Real Estate Advisors, doing underwriting for multifamily deals. Kind of loved it, but I sat in a queue working in Excel all day long. But I also kind of loved it. Going through all that, Nabila and her team, as you kind of heard earlier, or from her story, were finishing or going through law school. And, when it was time to stop studying law and time to kick back a little bit, that's when I got to come around and hang with the crew. So the idea of what was going to be Hotel Tango was being talked about for a year or so before it really came to fruition. So I was adding in the finance side, the numbers side, the chopping the shop up, like, what are we going to do with this? How would we, operate on this side? Oh, like yada, yada, yada. So I was adding perspective when I, from the, my astute legal studies team, and then the sole, MBA grad, talking about what was going to how it was going to happen, what was going to happen, how we were going to even get started, let alone move forward. So yeah, lots of pre-conversations before the actual conversation.
That's great. You're like, I don't know if you've heard of Gino Wickman contraction. And so you're like the integrator,
Is that the EOS?
The EOS.
Yes, I am
There's the
familiar.
visionary.
Yes, I'm the familiar. Yes.
Like lawyers, we're real good at being visionaries. Our heads are always up in the sky anyways, and then you got this integrator that's like, guys, great idea. How are we going to make this shit?
How are we going to execute it, guys? Come on.
How are we going to make it work? Yeah, I love it. I love it. So, Hotel Tango, you guys started up. Great cocktails, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
And there so many years ago.
Man.
You were first started doing you first moved to the new space in Virginia, off Virginia Avenue. Cocktails were amazing.
It took a little bit of efforts and probably a young, astute class of bartenders to come in here and tell us how terrible they were before we actually opened our doors and made good cocktails. So we thank the staff for that. But yeah, we were kind of off to the races. And, in that time frame, there was the cocktail culture was certainly growing in the Indianapolis scene. So we just tried to expand that from our own perspective and just take it to our own level. And I think it's continued to work. It's still operating well these days, 10 years later.
I mean,
can't believe
I say it past there.
11 years. Yeah.
There's a bunch of people there.
Great stuff.
Great. So, Nabila mentioned earlier that Tinker house is kind of an offshoot.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
What happened there? Tell me a little about that.
Quick backstory is that we were running out of space at that Fletcher Place location, doing not only doing a lot of distilling and manufacturing of the spirits, but also a lot of the hospitality side of things, private events, what have you. And we were actually closing down to the public more times than we probably should be, because we were getting good money and people were getting a little pissed off about it. And
it's guaranteed money.
I mean, we had to take it. We were young, but if I heard to hear, oh, you guys are closed again one more time, I'm not sure I would have any more customers after that. So this opportunity to come over here, be an anchor tenant for this building that we're currently in with the Hotel Tango manufacturing piece, and kind of add on the second floor from an events side of things, which was kind of hot in the industry at that moment, and make a whole experience out of it, events, private events, weddings, and then add in the manufacturing distillery, take a tour or have a tasting type of idea. We kind of ran with it, and we all joined up in kind of a different structure with the Hotel Tango team, Travis and Hillary, and us, along with another partner, started and ran the operation here on the second floor. And kind of I co-managed the distillery operation and the event space operation for a couple years before making the switch over here full time.
This was the first space, right? Provider, was that around?
Provider came a year after we opened up here, and it was owned by a completely different operator. And they own a lot of other great establishments here in town. We've just, Coat Check, Strange Bird, Landlocked.
Are they all cafes?
They are, and/or were. Several are still in operation. A couple had to close over time, pandemic, related casualties. But nonetheless, those guys were running the show downstairs until this last year. And matters for what they got going, what they got started in the city.
Absolutely. You guys were here before the pandemic?
We were, yeah.
How did that affect your business?
It was terrifying, to be honest with you. We made it through, had to cut everybody out. I went without paycheck for a while. I knew that our now current and new co-owner, Molly O'Malia, which Nabila mentioned earlier, she was our not only very first employee, but the only employee left during the COVID times. I wanted to make sure to hang on to her because she was that, that was very important to me. And so she helped us get through this. It was quiet for several years, and it was almost like a complete restart. It just what it was, and it was tough, but we made it through. So
I got to tell you, man, you guys have done an absolutely fantastic job with this space.
well, thank you.
I went on the site and I started reading the history. And for anyone listening, just go Google Tinker House events. You'll find their website.
No doubt.
And go to the history page. This building is 170 something years old or something.
It's really old. It's up there.
Yeah,
it's up there. It was an old lumber yard. It was an old wooden bank furniture manufacturing plant. It was right here on where we're at, 16th and basically the Monon. The old Polk milk sanitary bottling plant was all, from 16th basically all the way to 10th Street. So it was a part of that. Obviously the railroad with the Monon.
The Monon is like can't see it on the camera.
You can throw it right there. Yeah, you can hit a golf ball over it. And a wedge that. So it's got a great history, and the 30 years prior to us taking over, it was just a hunk of junk. So it got some new life breathing back into it.
And you guys brought a building company in here to try to salvage as much as you could from the space.
Yes. So another local developer here in town, TSV, Anton Najum, I'm sure the name will ring bells with your listeners, but came in and developed. He's been doing a lot of development in this area, but specialty on the older buildings. So we were lucky enough to know him prior, had a relationship prior, and got to be very much involved in the redevelopment of the building. So we got in here, got our hands on some old stuff that we got to keep, that are integrated back into the design of the building, and then added our own kind of spin on some new items with some local artists here still doing stuff today. What does it look like to you, Alex?
I don't know, man. But that is awesome.
Does it look like a world map?
That's what was my first thought.
And that is the joke, because it's a trick question. It's not. It's oxidation. And that's because we had the distillery here with the copper. And so the artist kind of did this copper to, when copper's out in the elements, it turns like that bluish greenish. That's oxidation. So that's actually what it is. But we like to rub people a little bit, like, what do you see? Kind of what you wore shadow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What do you see?
I love it. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things you're doing right now.
Sure.
So I know you're a business broker for Indiana Business Advisors.
I am brand new. Not officially announced even fully yet. I mean, it is, but no, it's great.
This episode out later. First of all, what is a business broker?
A business broker, I am learning it can be many things, but what I'm aiming for my practice area to be is to be a little bit more advisor. Look, I'm a small business owner. I'm a small business guy. I could talk about that stuff till I'm blue in the face and not get paid for it. I think now I found an opportunity to help other small business owners bring their small business to the either end of their lifetime or the end of their run, value it and sell it for the next phase of their life. And that's my charge, is to connect them with buyers, find the valuation that is suitable for all the hard work and blood, sweat, and tears that they poured into their small business, similar to what I've poured into mine, and I couldn't be more excited to be in this new role. And the best thing is, not only do I get to work throughout Indianapolis doing that, but I get to take it statewide. So all of my Hoosier brethren and sisters, I get to help bring their small businesses to the next phase of their life, and whatever version that may be.
So funny you said that. I always used to say to myself, I'm not a business owner, I'm a lawyer, and that was, first of all, that was a very poor way of thinking, because the reality is that I am a business owner,
You are.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But, having the ability to have people like you guide people like me that may be just so focused on our craft or what we do. Like, someone, for example, that I know someone that she makes honey. She wants to make honey, you know? But, you know, on the business side, it's just a whole different universe.
Right.
Yeah. Trying to learn that. So good on you, man.
Well, I look forward to, you know, kind of growing myself in that role. But in reality, like I've been doing small business, you know, guiding, growing, trials and tribulations, wrong stuff here and there, and figuring out I want to share that with the next person.
Yeah.
Because so many people shared little bits and pieces along the way. I want to just give back.
Yeah.
You know. But I also want to make a living. So, you know, just trying to spread my wings a little bit and any honey pot I can get it myself into. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And, you know, you mentioned it earlier. There is value in the blood, sweat, and tear equity that business owners
Truly.
that we put in to these businesses. I didn't understand that until I bought the firm 5 years ago. Actually, I think it was 6 years ago. Jesus. So, but there is so much value there.
Yep.
And just the fact that you have to carry that burden, you know, on your shoulders.
It's true. It's a big reason why now look, Nabil and I have been running the event space for several years now, kind of solo. We've had some help along the way. Her parents stepped in. But for many years, I was very against bringing on a partner. I thought I could do it myself. I wanted to kind of prove that I could do it myself.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, it's a scary world out there by yourself. And if you don't have help or a network or a little village, and a lot of those reasons, I just got to that point where I was like, okay, I'm now ready. And that has led to bringing on a co-owner of the event space, and somebody who's been in the trenches with me. And I think that everybody, especially post-COVID, kind of, maybe not everybody, but I hear a lot of people say, man, I'd rather do this with a partner or in some sort of group effort. You know, a lot of teaming up with things, especially the small community that we are in. I try to work with other business owners, and it's easier to go about this little small business world with a bit more of a community camaraderie.
Exactly.
Than trying to hack it by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely tough when you're the one that has to, you know, bear that burden on your shoulders.
It can be exhausting.
Yes.
I'm sure you know.
My family immigrated here from Cuba after Fidel Castro took over, and this government took everything from my family, and that attracted me to be a lawyer. Insurance companies can be like bullies, and they have a lot of resources behind them. Give us a call here at Hearst Limontes. We are protective of our clients because our clients matter and you matter. Indiana's trusted personal injury law firm is proud to partner with the Indiana Fever for 2025, bringing the same passion, persistence, and power to the courtroom that the Indiana Fever bring to the court. At Hearst Limontes, we fight for the injured and stand up to those who can't stand alone. Just like the Fever fight every night for victory and community pride. This partnership is more than just about basketball. It's about resilience, leadership, and giving back to Indiana, on and off the court. So this season, when you cheer the Fever, remember, there's a team in the courtroom with the same winning spirit.
What are some of the kind of pivotal growth moments that you've had here at Tinker House?
Pivotal. I think that I've always been a build the plane while you're flying it kind of entrepreneur. I wouldn't advise that for a lot of folks, but I learn best by doing.
Yeah.
And I also learn even better by making mistakes. And so maybe I'm blessed or privileged or just have a little bit more rope than I should, because I've been able to kind of stay up in the build and growth mode. But I think some of the pivotal growth moments are some of my failures.
You learn so much.
And to be honest with you, I don't know if I would have learned them as well if I didn't fail and grow, versus maybe reading about it in a book or just saying, I believe you, whoever you are, do it this way type of advice. And I'm sure that works for a lot of people, but those are probably some of that bigger parts. Made some miscalculations on directions of the organization. I like to make sure that we're hiring a lots of different people, but like people come with its own challenges, and so we've grown through just the people in and out of the business over the years. That part, I would say, is probably been the biggest growth, personally and professionally. You just learn you treat people how you want to be treated,
right?
But you learn how to treat them better when you know more people and all the shit that they've been going through.
Yeah.
Because I'm just one person who just has one, version of life. There's so much out there that you don't know, and you would never know unless you walked a second, let alone a mile in these people's shoes. So they've taught me a lot more than I've taught them. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I love it. I tell my boys, my oldest son, he's the only one that can really understand it. I tell him it's not losing, it's learning.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that.
It's not. And I played football growing up, played in college, got my ass kicked many times in Florida.
So yeah.
And I learned how to lose with grace, So it's an important lesson, because you can learn. And the same thing, I was talking to Nabil about trying cases. Go lose a trial. We lost a trial a few weeks ago. We knew we were going to lose it going into it. We knew it was a tough case, but we did it anyways. And we had some lessons. You
got to take those lessons out.
You have to. Absolutely. So, what are some of the factors that you looked at when you decided on this particular space? Like, what were some of the kind of important things that you were like, okay, I want this, this, and this, and fills those?
Again, I go back to the build the plane while flying it mentality. I don't know if I thought that deep, Alex. I really didn't. I will tell you that in the beginning of this particular operation and the event space, we did have some very talented people along the ride. I've always been an experienced guy from a hospitality standpoint. Like, I know that here our competitive advantage isn't the building that we're in or what's contained necessarily inside of it. It's how we treat people. It's how our experience is. And to elevate the experience, yes, I pined after an elevated aesthetic. And so I was lucky to have some very talented folks help us with that part of it. But going back to just the execution, you have great ideas, but it's really like executing correctly, treating people better than they expect you to be treated, and overcoming challenges as you come to them. And you can't make everyone happy all the time, and you just got to move on for that. But you got to believe in yourself that you're doing your darndest to make it the best experience truly that you possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, that's what people pay for. They want that good experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So, this space right here, we were talking off the air about how many people it fit. Tell me a little bit about this particular space.
Yeah, this is our main event space area. We have we predominantly, well, actually, no, that's a lie. We do weddings, and we do a lot of non-weddings. Weddings probably account for 2/3 of our revenue, but in reality, we probably do split 50-50 on actual event numbers. We do around the 200 mark is our kind of top capacity here. Yeah. From a wedding standpoint. Standing room, we can do a little bit more, but nonetheless, we live in our sweet spot of 75 to 175. And that's really, everyone can, feel great about it. Then we add on the first floor, which we took over the coffee shop provider cafe last year, and bought that at the end of the year from the previous operators. We add that onto our operation. It just adds for another type of hospitality experience. We
do both?
We do both all the time.
Really?
Yep, we do both all the time. You can rent one, you can rent both. We have a beautiful patio out there that's also great for some cocktail hours or other, various types of events. So we're still young in our fully integration of both floors, but we've been operating out of both for a couple years now.
Yeah, that's awesome. What kind of you host corporate events, weddings?
You got an event, you name it, we do it. Weddings, like I said, it pays the bills. And truly, we want to stay focused on a wedding venue.
It's beautiful. It's for a wedding venue.
It's truly where we want to live. We do, private events from a corporate side, holiday parties, trainings, lots of nonprofits. We want to make sure that we're still very much involved in not only our Indianapolis community, but our local community, the Martindale Brightwood neighborhood that we're in. We're on the edges of the Old North Side in Heron Morton. Nabila and I used to actually still own a house, but used to live in the Heron Morton neighborhood. So we live in this area, we work in this area, we play in this area. Like, this is our community. So bringing the community here, making sure that they're taken care of and have that experience that we want across the board is important to us.
That house was beautiful, by the way.
Still is beautiful.
I remember I went out back. I was in the kitchen and I was like, where does this staircase go? I wonder.
Just to the other side. Just two legs to that staircase.
Oh, it was great. And that was the first time anyone had ever explained to me the concept of a butler's pantry and, all set. Yeah, it was just, I loved it.
Turn of the century.
Right. Let's talk a little bit. But you won in 2023 IBJ Top 40 Under 40, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, thank you. Thank you.
To get, that's not.
I appreciate that. I feel like I squeaked in right before I turned 40, but I was proud and honored to get that, and I've 15 years of careerness really
Right.
took me a long way, and to be honest with you, it's just the beginning, Alex. So here we go.
Yeah, I mean, 40's
watch out.
30.
It'll be 80 under 80 before you know it.
Right. Yeah, I loved reading, and Nabila told me that you guys met at Chili's. Yes, right.
Now they might have her tattoo right there.
Worked at Chili's.
That's
That
right.
was in that was in the IBJ. So
Yes.
I didn't tell you this, but my first date with my wife was at Chili's.
I mean,
Yes.
they say that Chili's is back, but I keep telling people I don't think it ever left, folks. Chili's has been Chili's for a long time.
Yeah. It was the one up there in Castleton, right next to the Don Pablo's that I worked at.
I worked at that one as well. Not the Don Pablo's, the Chili's. I've probably worked at 4 or 5 Chili's over the years. Yeah.
Oh man, you can't beat that skillet queso, guys.
Yeah.
When I took a year off between Hanover and law school, and I worked at a place called Miller's Ale House down in Florida. It's a sports bar kind of thing, and there's a chain of them, but they're known for a big horseshoe bar in the middle when you walk in. And I was a bartender there, but the Chili's was right next to us.
Nice.
We just stayed open until 3 a.m. They closed at 10. And we had all these industry people.
Oh, yeah.
We had a Chili's. There was a Steak and Ale. I don't know if you remember
I
that.
know Steak and Ale. Yeah, you can feel it.
All the big chains, Olive Garden, they were all there. And as soon as 10 o'clock rolled around, I was like, it's time to make some money.
Dizzying, right.
Yeah, it's time to make some money.
Because these guys got cash in there. So post ship, ready to go.
Yeah. So, Indianapolis, you are native, you are local.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the local community organizations that you work closely with that you support? What are some of those?
It's been, let's see. I've been involved with, now not so much in the last year, just had to take a break with the kiddos coming along, but since 2012, I've been an Indy Rotarian.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Rotary goes long and deep with not only Indianapolis, but just worldwide, longevity of a program. My grandfather and father were also fellow Rotarians, so just not only was it a great time to be with them in their older years. My grandfather just passed last October.
I'm sorry.
But thank you. Yeah. But kind of got a lawyer and salesman down the South Side, a business owner. So been a long time Rotarian here in Indianapolis. In 19, I joined the Indy Chamber Ambassadors program. So again, another business forward, big chamber member and fan, and try to give back where I can in that department. But again, small business, trying to connect. It's a passion. Outside of that, I've touched a few boards here and there. Garfield Park. Friends of Garfield Park. Again, another thing my dad's involved in, so I helped out with that for a year. And then recently got involved with, now the chamber, the Indy Chamber, the Indiana Chamber have a healthcare program, a health insurance program that they offer to small businesses throughout the state of Indiana at a rate or a price that is just attainable for small business owners.
Look, I want to talk to you about that.
I mean, it's seriously an awesome program. So a couple years ago, I somehow got an email about it, about a board seat opening up, and I jokingly said, "Can I nominate myself?" A year later, they're like, "Hey, we had a position or an opening. You still interested?" And I'm like, I thought I was kind of joking, but I was like, "Yes, I'd love to check it out. I know nothing about this, but I think it's such an important benefit that would not exist in my small business. I would not be able to offer health insurance to my employees, but for this program, way too expensive. And I even pay half of the premium as a business owner. So it's something that is a benefit that small business owners with a handful of employees just, is out of reach for a lot of people. So I got on as a trustee. It's a trust that operates this benefit program, and I've been involved for just about a year now. And it's been an awesome and very learned. Just there's a lot of a lot of terminology that I don't know, that I'm learning a lot of. But to represent small business owners throughout the state of Indiana and my own operation, just to make sure that everything's going correctly and better. I highly recommend those who aren't aware or know about this program to check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I mean, that's always a big.
Just got to be a chamber member, one or the other. Indy Chamber, Indiana Chamber.
I might be the only personal injury chamber member, and they're gonna run me out of there if they figure out what I do for a living. But that
I'll put in a good word for you, Alex. Okay.
Hey, right, he's one of the good ones.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I try to keep myself involved, but also, with a young family and a lot of moving parts, you can't do it all.
Right.
And so my time is also being pulled in a lot of different directions. So you just, want to try to pick some good ones.
Yep.
So I feel like I'm on some good ones right now from a community based.
Yeah. Indianapolis has kind of grown as far as the food scene.
Oh, yeah.
Hospitality.
Right.
And you've seen a lot of changes in the last few years.
Yes.
What do you think are some of the reasons why we have kind of been elevated, as far as our food scene goes? People are comparing us to other major markets, in certain areas. Yeah.
I think there's probably multiple reasons, but a few that I'm going to pick out are, number one, and I don't know how to explain this fully, but like just the talent here.
Oh, yeah.
Is the talent and the gumption to get started. I don't know where that really came from. I don't know if that's the same in all the other cities out there, but the people that are, ballsy enough to get out there and get going on some scenes and do it well. Maybe it's because we're a hospitality town. Maybe it's the business is good, from a downtown or Indianapolis perspective, since, the lots of conventions, lots of traffic, got to have traffic. And the willingness for a lot of folks to demand kind of, not only willingness to try, but like to demand, bigger and better food once you've gotten a taste of what's out there. It continues to grow. So I will say that there is that. And I think that the next phase is like really the cost of doing something like that compared to other places. That's just the economics of where we live, right? Like Indiana's just an affordable city in all regards. I will say that some of the benefits that small business owners and entrepreneurs and in the hospitality space are afforded, just are pro, in that department. If you can take advantage of them, I guess. But I think those are the main reasons that I'd choose or that I'd pick out as far as why things have grown. But they continue to kind of get better and better as we do move along here.
Yeah, and I mean, to your point, the cost, just something as simple as rent, because if you're in the hospitality business, it's very hard to avoid, you have to have a space.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, unless you have like a food truck or something, I guess, but, and that is so much more affordable here in Indianapolis. Yeah. Compared to Chicago or New York or something like that.
It truly is. It truly is. And for whatever reason, they continue to inspire the next iteration, the next wave of chefs and entrepreneurs in that department. So carry on. We'll keep eating, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll definitely keep eating.
Yeah. Amen to that.
So let's look ahead. Let's look ahead a little bit. Brian, what's next for you?
What's next? Well, as you mentioned earlier, and I alluded to the gig with the Indiana Business Advisors and the business brokerage is pretty new. I think that I will be focusing on that for the couple years to come. My eyes will be still locked in over here at the Tinker House events and Provider Cafe, making sure things run smoothly. With our young family and Nabila in her career at Palouse, it's been a fun, adventurous 10 years of entrepreneurship. I wouldn't mind maybe a little smooth sailing for a couple years, but I wouldn't probably have never said this, but for being an entrepreneur. But once you become an entrepreneur, that's all you really want to continue doing. And I can't wait to do the next one. Right. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm already like, all right, well, this sounds great, but like, what am I going to do next? And right now making some money is next, but what am I going to do with all that money, Alex? So we'll see. I think that like we just need to hang tight for the next couple years and enjoy the last 10 years of work to get to this point. Get these kiddos kind of up and going a little bit more, and then we'll worry about that later.
And I will tell you, soak it in it, boys. Soak it in as
Amen.
Can.
Amen.
Because they get
except this morning. Boy, I tell you, no, just kidding.
There are moments. We have a 5-year-old. He crawls into our bed every night, every single night, sneaks in there. Half the time I don't even hear him coming. And, he's a big boy, he's built like his dad.
Yeah, there you go.
So he takes up a lot of that bed. Yeah.
You got to get that California King.
Yeah, I do. That's actually what I told my wife. I said, we got a kid size. Now we need a California King. These kids are going to keep sneaking in the bed. I need to be there. So. Yeah, I know. And I tell myself that every time I felt. They're I see Franco's 12 years old now. He turned 12 on June 27th. And
wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember when he was born and being in the NICU with him, because he spent a couple weeks in the NICU. Like I remember it like it was yesterday, and it's dude, it just flies.
Yeah, I hear you.
know? So
4 years is fast. 12 years is even faster.
yeah. So soak it in as much as you can.
Will do. Good advice from a
From
a
an
good
old dad.
from a good parent.
So if anyone, I know you guys have a great website. You guys have some really cool video on the site.
Yeah, thank you.
Homepage there. So if anyone wants to get a hold of you or find out a little bit more about Tinker House,
Yeah.
how to rent the space,
TinkerHouseEvents.com. You know, we're very transparent on our website, so you can find almost everything you need to know about renting space here. Lots of lunch and learns, lots of trainings, lots of legal education that we have going on here. So check us out, folks. But that's the best way. Submit some an inquiry on the website. Hit us up on our socials, especially Instagram. We don't have a phone number, and that's on purpose. So please just go to the website. We're just trying to guide the traffic in the right direction. And our staff will take wonderful care of you.
Absolutely. And we've been here before for lawyer events. It's been a wonderful time.
Well, let's keep it rolling.
We'll keep it going.
You got it.
Brian, thank you so much.
Alex, thanks for your time,
Thanks
sir.
so much.
Appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for inviting me to your space. Such a beautiful, beautiful space, guys. So thanks to everyone for listening to another episode of Circle City Conversations. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more future conversations.